Justin's World of Softball, reporting from the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. Sitting here with assistant coach, recruiting coordinator Jimmy Kolaitis with the Ducks of the University of Oregon. Jimmy, thanks for joining us today. Just want to talk a little bit, if you talk a little bit about the season you guys had, a little synopsis. Obviously getting back here to Oklahoma City and another Pac-12 championship.
You know, anytime you can win a championship, it's an amazing year. The opportunity to do it 3 times in a row, back to back to back. I think we're the 3rd team in Pac-12 history to be able to do something like that. So real special. More importantly, the growth of our kids over the year. We started out the season, you know, we've had a good season all the way through, but the growth and the development of our girls throughout the year is what's really made this special. We talk about getting better every day, and I think as the season has gone, they really started to buy into that philosophy and what we're trying to do on the offensive side, what we're trying to do on the defensive side and on the mound. And we developed and got better as the year went. Where a lot of teams start off hot, maybe end up, you know, a little cooler. We've kind of got the steam rolling as we got to the World Series. So that's what I've been most impressed about this year.
Right. Talk a little bit about, expand on that, I guess the impacts that the transfers Decker and Glasgow had for you guys this year.
Anytime you can add an offensive weapon like either of them, like Decker or Glasgow, you know, we're fortunate enough to be able to add both of them. And I mean, you're able to stick them in the middle of your lineup. One's left-handed, one's right-handed. Got the ability to hit both sides of the field. That's a huge impact to an offense that was already pretty good. So to add those two, it makes a world of difference in what we're trying to do on the offensive side, and not just in what they're doing and the numbers that they're putting up, but their knowledge of the game, their savvy of the game, understanding how to hit and how to hit in specific situations. They both understand that, and it's just been, they've added so much to what we're trying to do on the offensive side.
Right, building on that, talk a little bit about Jenna Lilly.
You know, Jenna Lilly is one of those kids, I say it all the time, if I ever coach another kid like Jenna Lilly, it'd be amazing. She's a special athlete. Coachable, works hard, even gets to the part where I had to kick her out of the cage because she was in the cage for too long. Does what you want. I even made a comment to our baseball coach the other day when he was asking about her. She's a kid that can go 15 for 15. I can walk in there and go, hey, we're going to change everything you do. And she'd go, okay, what do we need to do? She's just that type of kid. And the energy that she brings to this team, the leadership she brings to this team as a freshman, you just don't see a whole lot of. And she is definitely a special athlete, a special person, and she's really helped this team kind of mold together.
Right. Expanding a little bit on, I guess, overall competition in the country, Pac-12 to the SEC. Obviously, you came from a very good mid-major program at the University of South Alabama, right down there in the middle of SEC country. Talk a little bit about the changing of the guard as far as the Pac-12 had been, Pac-10, now the Pac-12 had been the top conference in the country, and really the SEC starting to become dominant as far as competition goes.
I think you got 2 very good leagues. I think you've got great teams in both leagues. I think you've got great athletes in both leagues. You know, the SEC, you look at the World Series, you know, 6 of 8, 5 of 8 in the World Series, and you know, what they've been able to do with their facilities, their administration putting some money into their programs, not just softball, but all female athletics. It's a huge growth, and I think the rest of the country has to look at it and go, hey, we need to start to catch up a little bit, because I do think that's been you know, the salaries of the coaches and so forth. I think our administration has done a great job of it, building us a new stadium. I think we're heading in the right direction, but I do feel like some of these other teams in the league are going to have to start catching on and start moving toward that direction if we want to continue to compete. But you know, the SEC's done a great job in what they're doing. They show, you know, the administration's showing the support into their programs, and you're seeing the change.
Right. With that, talk a little bit about the landscape of recruiting with college softball. Obviously, with recruiting, you know, getting younger and younger, with it being earlier and earlier. I guess, how's the landscape of that changing, and where do you see it going in the future?
You know, you hope it's going to slow down. I don't know if it will, to be completely honest. I know the NCAA and the Coaches Association are trying to do some things to slow it down. I hope we're able to slow it down some. Unfortunately, the nature of the game is what it is, and it's not necessarily what everybody wants to do. And I think it's going to get, you know, a lot of these rules that they're implementing They're talking about what benefits the student athlete, and I think it's going to end up being a lot like football if we don't watch out. Where football is kids are committed, and then they release them and go find somebody out right before signing day. And I hope it doesn't get to that point, but we've got to do. It's not a good landscape at all, Lee, and we've got to do something to slow that thing down.
Right. Last thing I'll ask you, and of course this is always tough to ask any assistant coach, but it's a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, there's always hot names out there with any successful program with assistant coaches. You've seen it in the past, like for instance with Tim Walton here being a top assistant at Oklahoma on some national championship squads, and him taking over at Florida when he had his opportunity. What are your plans? What is your head coaching aspirations in the future?
You know, for me, it's all about quality of life, to be completely honest. I love where I'm at. I've got a boss and an administration in a university that's phenomenal, and we're investing a lot into our program. So I love being where I'm at. At the same time, I think you're always seeing what's out there and what options are out there, and you got to do what's best for your family, because as quick as you can go up, you can go straight down just as quick. So I've been fortunate to be around some really good people and some really good programs, and have had a lot of success and been around some great kids. So I think you just kind of, for me personally, I'm just kind of going with the flow. Getting some calls and listening to some people, and at the end of the day, making the best decision for what we need to make. But being a head coach, I love the assistant coaching role. I can do all my work on the field and don't have to deal with some of the paperwork stuff. So, but is there a day that may come? Most likely. But just kind of going with the flow right now.
Right. Okay, Coach Jimmy Kolaitis, University of Oregon, in pursuit of a national championship this week in Oklahoma City. Coach, thanks for stepping into Justin's World.
Thanks, Lee.